Namaste, Hare Krishna. Kim tat brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama, adibhutam cha kim proktam, adidevam kim uchyate, adiyajna katam ko atra, deheyasmin madhusudana, prayana kale che katam, nyeyosi niyatatmabihi. These are the first two slokas of 8th chapter. Lord Shiva glorified the 8th chapter to Mother Parvati. In the southern country, there was a city called Amartakam. There lived a Brahmana by name Bhavasharma. Though he was a Brahmana, but he was addicted to drinking alcohol and addicted to women. In fact, he was married to a prostitute. They together enjoyed eating meat, drinking wine, stealing from others, hurting others, and whatnot. Bhavasharma at one stage got afflicted with severe indigestion. He died thinking of Palmyra tree, where a particular type of alcohol is produced. After undergoing much suffering in hell, he was born again, but this time as a Palmyra tree. One day, two Brahma Rakshas came and took shelter under that tree. Mother Parvati enquired, who were those Brahma Rakshasas? Who were there before, and how did they become as Rakshas? My Lord, please explain this in detail. And Lord Shiva told the previous life of these two Brahma Rakshas. There was a Brahmana by name Kushivala. He was very well versed in the Vedas and the Upanishads and was very good in practicing all religious rites. But his wife Kumati was wicked. She was a bad influence for him. She compelled him to accept all kinds of charities. And Kushivala, due to his infatuation with her, he began to do so. And he started accepting all kinds of gifts, even those gifts which he should not be accepting. Not only that, he would never give anything away to anyone else. With that, both of them started accumulating lot of sins by committing many mistakes. And when they died, they became Brahma Rakshas. They were greatly afflicted with hunger and thirst. They could not get a place to live. Having searched everywhere, they finally came to stay under this tree. Remember that this tree is another Brahmana in his previous life by the name Bhavasharma. These two Brahma Rakshas one day were thinking about their pathetic condition. Unable to suffer any longer, she spoke to her husband, we are paying for all our sins. I am the greater sinner. Only because of me, you are also suffering. You should have simply not paid any attention to my words. You should have simply ignored and gone on your own way or sent me away. If you had done that, at least you would have been spared of this suffering as Brahma Rakshas. Now what is the use of talking about what has happened in the past? We have to find a way to atone for all our sins. Do you know any way that we can do that? Please tell me. At the time, the husband replied, we can attain salvation only if we carefully learn Adhyatma, become knower of the absolute truth and perform actions, karma, as a service unto him. At this time, the wife enquired, O best of men, Kim tat Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma Purushottama? She asked, O best of men, what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? When she uttered these words, the Atma in the Palmyra tree cast off its tree form and took on a celestial form. Not only that, the couple, these two Brahma Rakshas, also were freed of their Rakshasa character and were bestowed with beautiful forms. Completely perplexed with this sudden transformation, they were wondering. They exclaimed, "What miracle is this? How did this happen? We are sinners. We did nothing good. How can we get transformed in this form?" At that time, a voice from the sky spoke. This woman uttered now the first half of the first verse in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Kim tat brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama. Even though she uttered without even being aware of what she is saying, but that resembled the verse in the 8th chapter, the very first sloka. But the act still carries its reward, even though she said it unknowingly. All three of you have attained the stage only due to the greatness of that act. On hearing this, not even complete verse, it was just half of the verse of the first sloka in the 8th chapter. That too, not even knowing that this is from Bhagavad Gita, just by uttering those words has liberated them from that terrible condition. After being liberated, they studied the 8th chapter under a great souled teacher and were duly blessed. The main focus on this chapter is irrespective of what type of devotee you are, whether you're aspiring for Aishwaryam, pleasure, wealth, or one is aspiring for experiencing one's own Atma, self, or one who wants to attain the Supreme Lord and serve Him, serve His lotus feet. All the three types should know the nature of the pure self, Atma. One need to know karma, one need to know Adibhuta, Adideva, and Adiyajna. And at the time of death, one must remember the Lord. Else whatever one remembers at the time of the death, that is what they attain. This chapter also explains two paths by which, when the Atma departs the body, takes to its destination. One is Archarardi Marga, another one is Dhumadi Marga. Dhumadi Marga is where one goes and has to return back into this material world, taking another body. Archarardi Marga is one where one doesn't return back into this material world. He will be engaged in the eternal service of the Supreme Lord. Thank you. Namaste. Hare Krishna.